Hello guys, it's Daniel from Sounds Good, and I'm here today to show you how I came up with the sound effects of this clip. It's really easy to make good sound design when you have such good animation, but it's even easier when you have the correct library. I made all of these using the premium version of my new library, the Frost Mage. It has 599 design sound effects, plus a construction kit with over 740 sounds that I've recorded, edited, and prepared myself. So let's take a look together in this project so I can show you the details and all the layers and show you a little bit how you can apply and use the sound effects from my library. I start off by analyzing the animation and defining what are the key moments in the clip in terms of sound. The first action that needs sound is the sword swing, this right here. So this is the first action. And the second action is the burst of ice spikes, right? This part right here. So this is one action, and the burst of ice spikes is the second action. For each of these actions, there's also the anticipation of the movement, the moment when the character prepares to launch the attack, right? So right here, this is the anticipation, right? Boom, anticipation. Attack. Then there's also the moment that the character jumps and channels the energy right here to cast the spell. Boom. So anticipation, action. Same thing here. Anticipation, action. These are actually great opportunities for us to enhance the effect of the sound in the actual attacks. So it's nice to keep an eye for that kind of detail. Now let's dive in this first attack here, the sword attack, right? So we want this nice sharp whoosh with the metallic ring of the sword and the crispy crackling sound of ice being formed around the character. And to do so, we have 3 sound effects layered here. So the first one is this one. Let me play it without any processing. So as you can see, it has a lot of detail already, but it doesn't have that metallic ring. And to do that trick, I'm using another design sound effect here. So this one has this nice metallic tail that we want to layer together with the previous sound effect. In the timeline here, I'm also applying a bit of a reverb, right? So I'm sending it to this reverb right here. So let me show you. This is the reverb that I'm using. It's East-West Space 2 reverb. I really like this one. It has some really cool presets here that you can pick. Now the sword attack is pretty much done. So all we need is to add something to help with the freezing effect and the ice forming around the character. And for that, I added this other clip called Crystallize. Let's hear it without any processing first. It's nice and crispy. But here I'm applying a bunch of effects because I just want to take advantage of the high end of the spectrum here. So I'm applying this equalizer with a high pass filter. There's also a frequency shifter to shift everything up right in the frequency spectrum. And I'm also using another reverb here. This is from Melda Productions. And the crystallizing sound effect with the processing that I just showed you sounds like this. And all the 3 sound effects together, they sound like this. And that pretty much covers the first action, the sword attack. Now for the next action, we have the ice spikes, and here I'm using 2 designed sound effects to do the trick. The first one is the glacial spike. Let's hear it without processing. It sounds very nice already. It's beefy and heavy enough. So when I added this sound effect here, I felt that it didn't have all the high frequencies that I wanted to help with the particles and the ice crystals flying around when the spell is cast. So I added another one. I added another layer, but I'm also, as you can see here, I'm also applying the same effects that I did before. So the high filter, the frequency shifter, and the reverb. So layered with the other one, it sounds like... Okay, now we have the high frequencies that we wanted before. So the sound effect here for the glacial spikes already has this really nice build-up that is kind of helping us with the anticipation of this movement, but I wanted to add something else. I thought it was not enough. So I'm using this other sound effect here, the frozen armor. Let's hear it without any processing. I just want to use this first part here, right? The anticipation. So just this part, right? So if we go back to the timeline, you can see that there's a fade out here, and I'm using just the very beginning of the sound effect to add to the next clip here, right? So together they sound like this. Okay, and then to add even more, there's this wind gust. I thought it was important to keep this brief moment here where it's all very quiet before the big transient, just to help to emphasize the impact and the shock wave that comes after. I think it's a cool trick. Yeah, it goes down and then boom, right? Boom. It really helps to sell the impact of the effect. Now to wrap things up, let's take a look at the anticipation moment before the sword attack. There are only two clips layered here, this one and this one, and they're both part of the construction kit. I just wanted a nice movement sound with her blade ringing, so we have a whoosh, very quiet, and also a blade tone. And together they sound like this. Simple as that. I thought it would be a good idea to keep things simple and small here before the attack. And that's how I use the Frost Mage Premium Library to create the sound effects. And for some extra details, I added here stuff from other libraries. Her voice, some cloth movement, footsteps. They sound very quiet and it's almost impossible to hear, but they really help selling the visual effect. Alright, so if you're interested in my work, please follow me on my social media. I have very few followers on Twitter and I need more. I don't know why. The links are in the description below. And if you're interested in my library, there are also links in the description for you to check it out. Alright, so I guess that's it. Thank you very much. Take care. Bye-bye.